The story that has stunned the nation. In a mega exclusive on Times Network, the advocate for Suchana's husband has spoken exclusively to us about the allegations, saying that they are false. He's also addressed the domestic violence charges, saying that there is no basis for the same. Remember, in Suchna's affidavit, she had accused her husband of abusing her physically, mentally, and economically. During the domestic violence hearing, the court also noted that due to Venkat's abusive behavior, the child had developed a deep sense of fear and refused to be in his father's company. Now, the police are probing whether Suchana said meant to put the murder charges on her husband. She had in fact reportedly sent a WhatsApp message to her husband saying that he could meet the child on Sunday. In fact, the Goa police also suspect that Suchana had someone in Bengaluru who was likely to be involved as well. Earlier, the post-mortem report revealed that the child was smothered to death, and during the probe, the Goa police found 2 empty bottles of cough syrup in the room where the CEO mother allegedly killed her son, a charge that Suchana has vehemently denied. In fact, my colleague Neha also spoke to Azhar Meer, who is the advocate representing Suchna's husband Venkat Raman. Azhar Meer called all the allegations against Venkat false and said that Suchna had tried to overturn the visitation order given by the family court. He also called the allegations in the domestic violence petition filed by Suchna as false and baseless.
Azhar, if I can ask you about this domestic violence case, there's a mention that, Suchna mentions in the petition that there was sexual harassment that was meted out by Venkat to the child. If you could just, brief me on the objections that were filed and how this was responded to by you and by Venkat.
I mean, all the allegations in the domestic violence petition are absolutely false. They had no basis, to be honest, and they have been denied. What was the truth? It may not be appropriate for me to comment because these are ongoing cases still, right? The domestic violence petition remains open. I may not be able to comment on it. But the allegations contained in that petition are absolutely false. Venkat loved his son. He would never do anything to harass or hurt his son. He loved him dearly, to be honest. And all those allegations have to be understood as being allegations only from somebody who has gone to court, and they don't have any merit whatsoever. Chinmay loved Venkat and Venkat loved Chinmay, and we are glad that for some time at least before his passing they got to spend some time with each other, and Chinmay had some happiness in his life and that brought joy to Venkat as well, and that's all we can say for now. I won't comment on any allegations in particular apart from saying that they're absolutely false. And I would really request you not to indulge in any discussion about it, because it would be unfair to a man who is maintaining a silence while he is grieving. Right?
Yeah.
He needs silence to cope with what is unimaginably painful. And it may not be, he may not be now, he's not interested in going and saying anything to anybody and clarifying anything. What the worst case scenario has happened. So I would request you not to indulge too much in speculating on the allegations and counter allegations or anything of that sort.
Right.
Why did it happen is immaterial to the father. The fact is that it has happened. And how it has happened. That I think is important. How did it happen? Because none of us were there in that room. So please don't go into misconceptions of allegations.
Absolutely. Now that you've clarified, if I can just ask you one more thing. We're given to understand there is a suggestion that, there was a recent court order which, possibly could have led to this tragic, unfortunate turn of events. And this comes after there was an order from the domestic violence case, which, had in fact taken away the visiting rights. Since you mentioned now that they were visiting rights, if you could just very briefly touch upon what that latest order was, which, turned tragic possibly for the child.
I can't speculate that order was the reason for anything. It's a speculation, and only the person who is accused of the crime can answer that. Yes, there was indeed an order by the family court which was trying to balance the interests of both parents and, give access to the father to meet his own son once a week, right? And it was not something that was palatable to the wife, the mother. As far as the domestic violence order is concerned, ma'am, it's important to, report that it was an ex parte order.
Mm-hmm.
This is not being reported that it is an ex parte order. It was passed in 2022, 1.5 years ago. And that order was passed the day the petition was filed, meaning the woman files the case. The court only hears her side of the story and gives some sort of interim ex parte order without hearing the father. All right? The family court's order on visitation is not an ex parte order. It is by a judge after hearing both sides of the story. The court has felt this is an interim measure that we should do, like let us give visitation.